It is the day after the Golden Globes. Nikki Glaser was the host. She took some shots at Leo DiCaprio. Timothée Chalamet had a big moment. Terry Hart is here and Chris Murphy's here, and we got into everything that the Golden Globes told us about what is almost inevitable at this point when it comes to the Oscars. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I got a lot out of it. Let's go. How's it going, friends?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
It's nice to see you. It's nice to have you on the show. Terry, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start with a speech that came pretty early on in the show. It jumped out at me, jumped out at you as well as one of the highlights of the night. Let's play a little bit of it.
To my brown sisters and little brown girls watching tonight, our softness is not a liability. Our depth is not too much. Our light does not need permission to shine. We belong in every room we walk into. Our voices matter and our dreams deserve space. Thank you so much, everybody.
The one and only Teyana Taylor. She's accepting the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture for her role in One Battle After Another. That movie, by the way, gigantic night for that movie. Took home 4 awards, including Best Comedy or Musical Motion Picture. Terry, I'll start with you, pal. What did you love about Teyana's speech?
Well, I am a sucker for a big emotional moment, and she delivered that. I also thought that she was legit surprised, and that doesn't happen all the time in award season, and she honestly was like, what is happening? She also showed up like a winner. I mean, that dress needed like a double-sided tape engineering situation that I cannot imagine how long it took.
Yeah.
And I'll say, you know, Tiana actually deserved all the flowers back in 2023 for 1001, where we all kind of went, who is this? So to see her have this moment for One Battle After Another, which she is fantastic in, just seems all right.
Yeah, totally agreed. 100% agreed. Okay, for a second year in a row, by the way, we should say the Golden Globes were hosted by Nikki Glaser. And why don't we hear just a little bit of her opening monologue?
You've worked with every great director. You've won 3 Golden Globes, an Oscar. And the most impressive thing is that you were able to accomplish all of that before your girlfriend turned 30. I mean, it's just insane. Leo, I'm sorry I made that joke. It's cheap. You know what? I tried not to, but like, we don't know anything else about you, man. Like, there's nothing else. Like, open up.
It was actually genuinely a stark reminder for me, Chris, that like there is nothing else as a public narrative about Leo DiCaprio. There's like, this man takes his job very seriously. And also he routinely dates women who are much, much younger than him. Other than that, I'm like, oh yeah, do I know anything else about Leo DiCaprio? Okay, tell me about how you felt about Nikki as a host last night.
Oh, she was absolutely fantastic. I think she nailed it. And she did a great job last year, but that came out of nowhere. Like, people really didn't know what to expect. And so in some ways this year, it was kind of a higher bar because the expectations were through the roof. And I think she soared over it. She was sharp. She was funny. She was critical. She spoke truth to power to CBS, and she got into some politics with an Epstein joke, but she also was self-deprecating. And she also let the celebrities have it just enough that it was funny without feeling like it was either punching down or like cheap. So I really think she did about as great a job as she could have done.
There were a couple of those celebrity jokes that were right on the line, you know, and it just really felt, and you kind of felt like Sean Penn going, what me? Do I need to be absorbing this joke? Okay, but the one about Leo, absolutely fair game.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, Terry, there was going into this Golden Globes, there was a heated rivalry, if you will, in the category of best picture sort of musical or comedy, and that's you had One Battle After Another, and then Marty Supreme, and then also Leo DiCaprio and Timothée Chalamet competing for Best Actor. One Battle After Another ended up winning a lot last night, but Best Actor, it ended up going to our pal Timothée Chalamet. Let's just hear a bit of the speech.
The amazing cast of this film: Odessa Zion, Gwyneth Paltrow, Tyler the Creator, Fran Drescher, Kevin O'Leary. If you would have told me when I was 19 years old, I'd be thanking Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. All right, you're laughing, so I got away with that. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would have expected Timothée Chalamet to be thanking Kevin O'Leary on a stage. That felt like a little bit of a sort of Mad Libs moment to me. But talk to me about how you're feeling about the idea of Timothy winning over Leo at the Golden Globes last night.
So it seems like it's Timothy's year, but it's one battle after another's year. So
Yeah.
Timothy's going to ride the Marty Supreme train, but one battle after another seems to be the front runner for every other category. And nobody's happier about that than Timothy Chalamet. That boy has no chill. He has no chill. He is just sopping up every single moment of the accolade of the trophy. He looked like the cat and the canary when he was telling George Clooney and Don Cheadle that he was only 30 years old. And so he really did. He was like, ha, 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 I'm 30. And I could picture that he has like in his room a chart of when so-and-so and so-and-so, when they won a Golden Globe, when they won an Oscar, and like, where does he fall in it? And I thought, that seems very Marty Supreme to me. So maybe this Venn diagram is a little tighter than we thought it was between Timothy Chalamet and the character he plays, Marty Supreme.
I will say, Chris, that like to me, one of the fascinating things about Timothy Chalamet is that he is so transparent, right? He's so transparent about like wanting this, and sometimes that kind of works a little bit against you. It doesn't seem to be working against him this time around. I mean, like you remember like last year, Screen Actors Guild, you know, he wins for his portrayal of Bob Dylan, and in his speech he kind of says, "I've always wanted this. I want to be one of the greats." That's the line that gets remembered. And then the very following year, he's having probably the wildest sort of pre-Oscars campaign I've seen in some time. And you'd think the voters would be like, no, I am put off by this. I want less of it. But there's something about it that's connecting. What do you think it is about Timothy that's connecting?
Well, I think it's because he's the future of their industry, right? Hollywood's in a really tough spot, and Timmy is sort of the only young, bakeable male star who's proven that he can sell Wonka, which, lest we forget, he was amazing in that, My Willy Wonka, and then also be Paul Atreides in Dune, right? He's got range, he's got grit, he also has the goods to back it up. He's fantastic. He's fantastic in Marty Supreme. He was fantastic in A Complete Unknown. I think some people are sad that he didn't win that last year, and that it ended up going to Adrian Brody. So the fact that he's already back in the conversation with arguably a better performance as, you know, meta Marty Mauser, which is very Timmy coded, I think it's like, okay, you know what? He's got the juice. Let's give it to him.
I should also note, like, I know we haven't talked about Marty Supreme on the show yet, but we will sort of as we get sort of closer to the Oscars. But he is in every scene of Marty Supreme, and it is not a short film, and it's like he carries the whole thing on his back in a way that you just have not seen a performance like this one. So like we'll talk about that a little bit later, sort of as we get closer to the Oscars. On the drama side, we had Hamnet winning Best Motion Picture. I just want to play you guys a bit of Chloe Zhao's speech.
The most important thing of being an artist is learning to be vulnerable enough to allow ourselves to be seen for who we are, not who we ought to be, and to give ourselves fully to the world, even the parts of ourselves that we're ashamed of.
What I love about that speech is that she was like, can I quote you, Paul Mescal, from this morning? And I was like, oh, I wonder what Paul said casually this morning. And it's like this gorgeous speech that you never heard something more beautiful about like the state of just being an artist. I should also say Jessie Buckley won Best Actress in a Drama for also her role in Hamnet. Chris, I'll go to you on this one. The main reason sort of to watch the Golden Globes is kind of like, oh, this is among the predictors of what's going to happen at the Oscars, because that's the big one. That's the one that ends the award season. That's not happening until March 15th. Based on what you saw last night at the Golden Globes, would you be betting on, Hamnet to sort of take Best Picture? Like, is that sort of even in the cards at all at this point?
Well, in a different year, potentially, yes. But as you said, One Battle After Another is still very much here and in the conversation. And the reason why One Battle After Another, Freudian slip. The reason why Hamnet won and it beat out Sinners is because One Battle After Another was in the musical or comedy category and not in the drama category. So I do think the Golden Globes, it's a bellwether. They used to be more fun and be crazy and give sort of crazy awards. And now they want to be more like, we're an Oscar precursor. And they were very serious. And I think all of the winners are very deserving and will be in the Oscar race. Wagner Moura, Jessie Buckley is definitely the front runner in that race. Timmy, front runner for Best Actor. But I definitely don't think that Hamnet is going all the way just because it won Best Drama. I think One Battle After Another really is leagues ahead, if you will.
We would normally talk about films for the rest of this conversation, but we got to dip into the TV categories for just a moment, Teri, because first of all, Adolescence won a lot yesterday. The Pit won on the drama side. But also, I know that you're happy to see this fellow from Vancouver a couple of times on stage last night.
This is so weird. We just pretended to do this. And now it's happening. Thought the only way I would get to hold one is to create a whole show to give myself a fake one.
So that's Seth Rogen. He's accepting one of 2 Golden Globes for his show, The Studio, which is a Hollywood satire, which does actually he gives himself a Golden Globe in that show. Teri, what's the thing that makes The Studio worthy of being celebrated here?
So The Studio doesn't just send up Hollywood, but it does it stylistically and inventively, and it still has great characters. And obviously, even based on season 1, everybody in Hollywood wants to be a part of that show. Yeah. So even before it was made, it had support of everybody in that room. And those are all the people that vote for that. So it kind of goes hand in hand why we ended up. And it is really dead. I will say that I think they missed an opportunity between Adolescents and The Studio. Like, The Oneer should have had a Golden Globe of its own last night, because that was what television was all about. Like, stylistically, what can we do here with this one shot between these 2 shows? I
got to say, just a lot of attention ahead of the Golden Globes about 2 specific presenters who are going to be going in to the last night's Golden Globes. And that's a couple of guys who are not even nominated for anything. Have a listen to this.
It's a little nerve-wracking here being at our very first Golden Globes.
Just take a deep breath and picture everyone in the audience. You know.
What?
You know.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really know if that works, considering everyone's seen us. You know.
So what you were hearing there is Hudson Williams and Connor's story of heated rivalry. We talked about on this show on Friday about just like the explosion, in terms of the celebration of the show and how everyone in Hollywood is kind of reacting to it. Given all the hype around heated rivalry and these guys, Chris, let me ask you, did this moment deliver for you, having them on stage and then having them sort of deliver some awards on stage?
Oh, absolutely. Society yearns for overnight stars, for sensations that come out of nowhere and take our breath away. And Connor and Hudson delivered on that in spades, right? Even though they had to sort of deal with like a weird UFC intro that was kind of an ad for UFC because Paramount owns UFC, that's whatever. Nobody cared about that because they're both so new, so charming, and clearly relishing the moment. Like, they did not expect any of this to happen either. So the fact that it's happening, you could see them like lean into it and really embrace their newfound celebrity in a way that is just endearing and adorable. So I think they did a great job, and we're all better for it.
With the couple of minutes that we have left here, the Golden Globes, we got to acknowledge, like, this is a particularly fraught time in the United States. It's been a really fraught week in the United States and also abroad. Teri, how did that sort of factor into the show? Did you see it anywhere at all in the show?
Shockingly, not at all, Elamin. Like, it was the most apolitical Golden Globes, apolitical award show I think I've ever seen. There was nary a ribbon. There was nary a speech. There was nary a button for any cause, for any person. I mean, no mention of ICE, no mention of Venezuela. This was, it seemed to me, like, there was something Nikki Glaser said at the beginning of, like, the Golden Globes, the most important thing happening in the world today. And she said that sarcastically. And it's like everybody in the room felt that kind of, I don't know, guilt might be aggressive, but that kind of feeling of like, oh yeah, I mean, we're here and this is what we do, but wow, is the world ever messed up? And it felt to me like, I mean, I was disappointed. I would have liked to have heard from some of these people who have huge platforms, who are huge influencers. Jean Smart said that she had a rant on the red carpet, but I didn't see that rant. I must have been watching a different red carpet show. So I was disappointed, but I will say there were a lot of political movies this year that deal with a lot of the issues that are going on properly in the world right now. And maybe, with the most generous lens, they want the art to speak for themselves.
I'll tell you this. Like, I thought if Hannah Einbinder got on that stage, like, let's change the mood up in here, because she did that at the Emmys in the fall. Yeah. Chris, real quick, do we want a Golden Globes that reflects the moment that we're living in, or is the job of the Golden Globes to kind of go like, these are pretty people in beautiful dresses, and then after that we can get back to the real stuff?
I mean, I think you gotta have both. I mean, it's hard to have both. It's hard because obviously, it's not a political protest. This is an award show for celebrities, awarding other celebrities, awards, and some people don't care about that. But I totally agree with Terry. It felt so divorced from what's going on,
Yeah.
in our world, in our country, in the U.S., that it didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. But you expect, when you have a platform like that. To make someone would say something. I mean, there were some ice out pins. Ariana Grande wore an ice out pin. Yes, it was for a part of the time, not the whole ceremony, it seems. So it was there if you could see it. You had to look very, very carefully and very closely. But I understand a lot of celebrities have been, raked through the coals for being political lately. So I get that they might not think it's more trouble than it's worth, but I would have liked to see a little bit more.
Well, I appreciate your thoughts and your reflections. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you again for your time. Thanks for coming.
It's always a pleasure.
Good to see you. Thank you. Chris Murphy's a writer with Vanity Fair in New York. Teri Hart is an entertainment reporter for Super Channel and host of the Heart of It All podcast. She was in Toronto.